What's up, everybody? This is Andrew Engel with Fresh Picked Leads. We're the lead generation company for Wisconsin real estate investors and business owners. And today is our third episode of Fresh Pick Fridays, where we're talking with local entrepreneurs about marketing, lead generation, closing deals, and many other things. So if you haven't checked out our first two videos, we'll link to those. And if you like the content that we're providing, give us a thumbs up or comment to tell us how we can improve. And hit subscribe so you can kind of keep track of what new offerings we're coming out with. But today we have Mitch Ferraro, and he is a real estate investor and agent, which is exactly why I wanted him on the show, to kind of pick his brain a bit about how that can differ from somebody who is not a licensed agent. So Mitch, thanks for joining us. And can you just kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, Andrew, thanks a lot, man. I'm super excited to be here. I love this stuff. This is a great way to get people to understand, different parts of investment business and how it works, especially for me being a real estate agent. But yeah, so probably back in about 2011, my wife and I got into real estate by actually building a new construction home. We fell in love with that process. We always knew we wanted to get into real estate. And that was kind of our dipping the toe into the water type of thing. And what happened was, from there, we started saying, let's start building our rental portfolio. We knew we wanted to have rentals. We knew that was how we could possibly get generational wealth. And when we started with that, we actually had no idea what we were doing. So we started that out, and we decided, when we purchased this first rental, we couldn't get a tenant inside. It was in a really good area. We're based in Kenosha. It was in a really good area of Kenosha. And we were just having a really tough time with this first rental. So then we said, we have to get educated. We have to learn how to do this stuff the right way. So we actually went into an educational program that taught us all about real estate investing. From wholesaling and flipping and building your rental portfolio. And from there, we basically got started into flipping right away. And when we started doing that, I started seeing the benefits right away of becoming an agent, because what I was doing is, when I was trying to pull comps, or if I was trying to find properties, I was having to use another agent to generate that information for me. And that was taking a lot of time. So right from the get-go, I took my real estate license, got licensed in about 5 months. And from there, it just made things a lot more easier within my real estate investment business. So I currently have a real estate investment business called the Ferraro Group. We wholesale, we flip, we have rental, buy and holds. We invest in Kenosha, Racine, Milwaukee, and Waukesha. I also have a real estate investment coaching business called The Real Deal, where we basically teach people how to invest in real estate, what we believe is the right way. So everything that we teach is the exact systems and processes that we're doing inside of our own business. We're local here in Wisconsin, but we do have students that are across the nation, which is pretty cool. A lot of the same concepts and everything that we're doing apply across the nation. But so that's our coaching side. And then again, I'm also a licensed agent. I don't do much on the agent side. I do often, or not often, but sometimes I'll take on listings, but I don't work with buyers. I was at one point listing our own homes that we were flipping, but now we actually have a director of acquisitions for our team that takes care of listing our homes for us. She's also a licensed agent. But yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. And then again, I'm just excited to be here and hopefully bring some good value to your audience.
No doubt. Well, thank you for that introduction. Awesome story. Okay, so today I want to talk a bit about, what it's like for a real estate investor to have their real estate agent's license and how that kind of affects marketing. So I want this to be an educational piece for people who are current investors or getting started investing and asking that question, should I get my license?
Mm-hmm.
But I also want it to be an educational piece for existing agents who are looking to start investing in real estate.
Sure.
So what would you say, just to kind of lay the groundwork here, for people who do not have their license, what would you say are the three top pros and 3 cons of having your license.
Sure. So I think, again, from when I kind of introduced myself, one of the biggest things that is a pro to this is that you're going to have the access to the MLS, which is huge. I mean, there's deals that go on the MLS. It's the biggest site, in Wisconsin, that where all properties go online. So you're going to have access to that. And with the access to that, you're going to be able to pull your own comparable properties or comps. And being able to do that and not have to wait on someone else is super important, because if you're waiting on someone, most likely someone has come in and swooped up that deal before you're able to even pull comps. So that's another huge pro. And then the other thing too is not only, being able to do the comps, but if you are flipping the properties, you can actually list the properties yourself. So if you have a business, a real estate investment business, and you go ahead and fix up a property, you can actually be the agent that lists that property for your business. And that can save you a ton of money on the back end, because you're not hiring out a listing agent to go ahead and actually go and list the property for you. This is a very interesting debate between the pros and cons, because being a licensed agent, I haven't seen a lot of cons in the investing side, but I have heard other investors that are not agents that are totally against getting their license. And I understand where they're coming from. There are more, there is a set of rules and regulations that you have to go by, through the National Realtors Association, through the Wisconsin Realtors Association. So there are some guidelines that you have to go by that maybe if you weren't an agent, that maybe you weren't held to those standards. So that could be a con. And one other con that I can think of is that if you are doing investments by yourself, and it's just a one-man show that you're in your investment business, if you're marketing out to people, you're going to have to disclose that you're an agent along with being an investor. And depending on who you're working with, some people may not want to deal with agents, and that may be a big no-no to them. So if you're dealing with a seller that just has a mindset that they don't want to deal with an agent, that could be a con. But like for us in our business, all the marketing that goes out for us, it never goes out in my name. It goes out in one of my business partners' names, so that we don't have to go ahead and put the marketing out there that I'm a licensed agent, because we just want to hit sellers saying, hey, we buy houses for cash and we can close quickly. And we don't even go ahead and put anything about being an agent. But if I do decide to talk with the seller one-on-one, I do always disclose that I'm an agent. That's a standard that I have to go by.
Okay. Great. Yeah. And you're right. I think people who start in real estate investing, that's kind of like the first big hot button topic is, should I get my license? And it really, I mean, from my perspective, it really just comes down to personal preference. So I think, and correct me if you think there's a better way, but I think the best way to determine if it's right for you is talk to somebody who is a licensed agent investor and someone who is a not licensed agent investor, multiples if you can, and talk to them about why they chose their path. And they will be just as passionate as the other about why they made their decision. And then you will have the information to go, okay, this may be right for me, or this is not right for me.
You are spot on. I think, one of my business partners in The Real Deal, we actually, I think it was about a month ago, we had a debate on this where he's not a licensed agent and I am a licensed agent. And we gave all the information that from our personal experiences of how that's worked. And, on one side, it was me with going ahead and saying, this is why I think it's a good idea. And he said, this is why I think it's a bad idea to get your license. And again, all we wanted to do was give people the information to make their own decision. And that's key. I agree. Go to both sides, get the information from multiple sources, and then take that information to make the best decision possible.
Absolutely. So for the people who are currently real estate agents and looking to start an investing business, what would you say for them should be their very first actionable step towards that?
If they are agents and they want to get into the investing side, I'm going to assume that they already have the experience of being able to pull comps, and they're having some experience of finding deals. The number one thing that they need to do is make offers. That's the number one thing that if you don't make offers in this business, you're not going to get deals. And I think one of the mindsets that really affect people is like, well, I can't make an offer that low, or I can't make an offer, that'll offend the seller. In this business, you have to really know that this is a business and we're trying to make money in these investments. And the service that you're providing to the sellers is quick. You're providing a service that's going to be quick, painless, and easy. And if they're in a distressed situation, you can get them out of that very, very quickly. So I think making offers and knowing that even if your offer is low, put it in writing and get it in front of the seller and present it. So again, I think in probably the next step is setting up your investment business so that when you are purchasing properties, you're purchasing them in an investment business, not personally, because that's going to be a huge thing down the line when you're going to want to be actually, saying like, hey, I'm an investor, this is my business, and this is how we buy houses. So two things would be making offers and then getting your LLC set up or things like that. So when you're passing out business cards, you look more official than just some random guy on the street saying, I buy houses.
Right. Perfect. Okay. So again, for people who are already licensed agents, that you're required to follow very specific rules, guidelines, regulations as an agent. So how would that impact your marketing as an investor? In other words, how might your investment marketing differ from somebody who is a non-licensed investor?
Sure. This is a great question. So always in my mind and what the realtors associations, bang into us is disclose, disclose, disclose. So always disclose that you're an agent. So again, if I was sending marketing out, direct mail, I'd be saying, on there, like, I'm an agent, but I'm also a real estate investor. That's why I'm contacting you today. I actually want to purchase your house. I'm not looking to list your house. So always just make sure that you're getting that information out there in front of people. And again, if you have a business partner, if you have business partners within your investment business, then that's kind of a workaround to be able to say, if you're sending out a direct mail piece and it's coming from my business partner, Adam, then he can go ahead and not disclose that there's an agent. So, because he's not an agent and that marketing is coming out from them. So that's kind of the biggest thing. If you're an investor without a license, you obviously don't have to disclose you have a license because you don't. But if you do have a license, just get that out there, out in the open, let people know that you're a licensed agent, but move on from that right away. Because if you are looking to purchase the property, you got to let people know, like, hey, I'm not here trying to list your property and put it on the open market. I'm actually here to buy your property.
Okay, great. And that's a perfect segue into kind of my next question. So for agents who are already marketing, real estate agents have to market, for buyers and sellers. Do you think that when they go from that type of marketing to real estate investor business marketing, do you think their existing marketing experience will lend itself well to their new business? Or do you think it's kind of like, we need to relearn and rethink this entirely?
This is a great question, because if they're already marketing, that's awesome. Because the one thing about marketing that is the toughest thing to do is be consistent. So if they're already marketing and being consistent, that's going to help them out so much in the investing side, because I see that's where a lot of investors fail is they send out one piece of marketing. Let's just talk about direct mail. They send out one piece of direct mail and they're like, man, I'm not getting any leads. Like, I'm not getting anything. Well, it's going to take multiple hits on that one person to actually get them to pick up the phone and possibly call you. So that's really going to help them. If they're already marketing and they're being consistent in their marketing, yes, that's absolutely. One thing that they may have to try and, again, retrain their brain is that they're now actually purchasing the properties, and they have to look at these properties a little differently. And they're probably going to be looking at totally different properties than what they are originally looking at. So if it's an agent that's more geared towards listing retail houses, and retail houses meaning like houses that are in good shape, if they go on the market, they can sell quickly if they're priced correctly. These are not the houses that they're going to be looking at anymore. They're going to be working with people that are in very tight situations. Maybe they're going through foreclosure. maybe they're getting a divorce, maybe they have a hoarder home. So these are totally different types of properties, and it's a different type of seller. It's a seller that's your main goal is to help them get out of the situation that they're in and understand what do they need and how can I help them. So that would kind of be the retraining part, I would think.
Okay, great. So I guess jumping back to what you were saying earlier about consistency, do you have some advice on like what are some indications that you need to change your marketing or something isn't working? How long do you wait until, or is there anything that's like a red flag to say, oh, you know what, we do need to change something. It's been long enough. How do you handle that?
Yeah. So this is like, whoever can figure out this question is going to be the marketing guru for real estate investing, because things work during one point in time and then they stop working, or things don't work and then they start working. So like right now, I know that we have to at least go 6 months of the same list to actually see. And when I say 6 months, I'm probably hitting that person 6 times, like once a month, to see if that marketing piece is working or not. That's when I can really start saying, maybe we need to change it up. And at the same time, it's beneficial for trying 2 different marketing pieces. So if we are talking about direct mail, maybe I'm sending a postcard for 6 months, and maybe I'm sending a letter for 6 months, and I'm seeing which one works better. If I can decide then that one works better than the other, then one goes away and then one stays consistent. So I would say for you to decide whether or not something's working, you have got to give it time to see what type of leads you're generating. And not only what type of leads you're generating, but what's the conversion rate? How many of those leads are you actually converting into deals? Because it's one thing to get leads and your phone blowing up. That's great. But if you're not converting them, then maybe it's not a good list. So
Sure.
That's something in our personal experience that we've seen. Like, you got to give these things time, and it's difficult to do because that costs money, and you're trying to figure this out. And if you're not making money off of your marketing, it can be tough. But you just can't send out one mailer and be like, I got all these calls, but I didn't convert, or I got no calls. That's how it's going to be. You have to be consistent. Okay,
good. So are there certain marketing channels that work better? Again, this is going for people who may already be marketing as an agent. So do you think there are certain marketing channels such as, direct mail, phone calls, texts, social media that work better for investing versus like a agent business?
Yeah, from our personal experience, I think just you have got to try and market as much as you can and test and understand how your marketing is working. So from the investing side, direct mail does work. Social media does work. Networking does work. Bandit signs does work. There's all of these different ways. Driving for dollars does work. Scanning Craigslist does work. There's all of these different ways that you can do it, and you have to be consistent in all of those marketing tactics to really see what's the best route. Once you start figuring that out for your own business, then I would say you go nonstop in that direction until it stops working.
Great. So is there anything that you feel like that is unique to you, or something that you're doing that is making sellers choose you through your marketing over maybe some other marketing pieces?
I think we really try and be as genuine and build rapport. And, even like if someone is, if we're marketing, like we put our website, we put our Facebook link, we put all these different things on there that people can go check us out first before they may even call us. Because I think that's a big thing for people, that they want to be able to know that this is an actual person, or this is an actual business. And I think we do a good job of that, of being very visible on social media, be consistent with our marketing, going out to networking events and explaining to people what we do. It's kind of like this multifaceted approach that you have to do if you want to generate as many converted deals as you can, because there are going to be those one-offs that people are just like, oh, I got the mail today. Yep, I'm in this situation. I'm going to call them up, and you convert the lead. But to be really consistent, you kind of need all of these different approaches to make it work. And that's just from our personal experience. I know there's probably other investors out there that just do direct mail. That's it. And it works for them. And that's great. But for us, we do like to be kind of using this. We really want to have a lot of visibility and integrity within our business so that people can say, you know what, these are good people. I enjoyed working with them. They really helped me out in a tight situation.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, selling a home is, a big deal. It's not a small decision that people often take lightly. So having that visibility and transparency, I think, is absolutely key.
Yeah.
So wrapping up here, I guess. So what is like one piece of information or like one nugget of advice you would give to anyone who's just starting their marketing as an investor, or maybe has just seen some struggles?
Yeah. I would say, you know what, this business is like peaks and valleys. It's feast or famine, and you have to stay consistent. And the only way you'll get out of those downtimes is if you're continually being consistent, and you're working through everything that you can, and you're setting up appointments, and you're making the offers. I stress all the time, and we stress so much in our coaching business, you have got to make offers. If you're not making offers on properties, you're not going to get deals. And when you have to capitalize on the money that you're spending for your marketing, and the only way to do that is by making offers on the opportunities that you're getting. If you're thinking, oh, they would never accept that offer, or, oh, I don't know if, I should make that low of an offer, just make the offer. But then explain to the seller or whoever you're working with why you're making that offer. Explain, the repairs that you have to make. Explain what things will sell for once you fix it up. Just do your best to explain to the seller why you're making a certain offer. And if they say no, which 9 times out of 10 they're going to, they say no. But that one person that says yes, you're going to have a good deal on your hands, and you're going to be able to help the person out that you're trying to help. And you're going to be the solution, the problem solver for them during that situation.
Excellent advice. Thank you, Mitch, for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us here today. Just lastly, can you just share a little bit about where people can learn more about you or can connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Best place to connect with me is on Facebook, Mitch Ferraro. Search me, shoot me a friend request. We also have our 2 business pages, The Real Deal Coaching. Just search The Real Deal Coaching on Facebook. And you can also check out our investment business page, the Ferraro Group. That's PHERRA GROUP. Search us on Facebook. We put a ton of content almost daily out on those sites. I put a ton of content out there for real estate investing. So please reach out to me. I look forward to meeting anyone that wants to meet. And I hope to hear from everyone that's watching this.
All right. I'm sure you will. So we'll link to your profiles below the video. And but other than that, thanks again, Mitch. This was an awesome experience. So until next time, take care.
Awesome, Andrew. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.